Hey guys, it's Shay, your RP devotee, and this week I wanted to go over a tool that I use in a lot of my role-playing, and I thought that it was something that a lot of people knew about, but I guess it's a case of you don't know what you don't know, you know? So anyway, without further ado, let me show you Token Stamp. So this is Token Stamp. It's pretty intuitive. There are a number of options we'll kind of get into as we go. In the middle, you'll notice it says to drop the image there to get started. Over on the right-hand side, we've got a preview of what the finished token is going to look like. And then down from there are just additional options on uploading your image, downloading it once it's finished, setting custom borders and masks, and all that kind of thing. Getting right into it, let's choose an image. If we click on that and we select this lovely ugly thug, then Token Stamp's gonna put them right there. And then we can play with the options. We can change, and you'll notice up at the top right, it's changing that final image, right? So if we want them to be more centered, or maybe we want to just have a really scary picture, or you can shrink down a little bit, kind of offset them. And of course, depending on how big your source image is, that'll let you play around. See, if you go a little too zoomed out, you'll see that it kind of gets cut off. Another thing we can do is change the actual border of the stamp. So if we wanted to give it more of a square border, and then we wanted to size it up again a little bit, that'll sort of give us just a little bit more of his outfit. Again, if I want it to be focused completely on his head. And as you can see, I mean, it's quite intuitive. It's a program that I use a lot for my tokens, just because it's so sort of foolproof. A little pro tip about the borders. I know some game masters will actually standardize the borders. I like doing that myself, so that if you have player characters, they might do more like a circular border. And then if you have NPCs, they'll typically get a square border. And that can get as complex as you want. Some people might even say, you know, if it's a boss, you can kind of give it a different colored border or a thicker border, that kind of thing. And that actually leads us into the different tint. So if I select a border, I can actually go up here and change the different tint. So you might do different factions of characters or from a different nation, depending on what kind of game you're doing. Another thing you can do is change the border opacity. So if you wanted maybe a more see-through border, maybe you're using that for like a ghost or something, you can go ahead and change that. It's not something I tend to do a whole lot, but again, I'm always looking for creative uses of this tool. So if you have any ideas, just leave a comment. You can actually add text if you want. I know for a lot of virtual tabletop programs, there's usually the option to add that right from the program itself. So it's not a feature that I use for Token Stamp, but I suppose if you were doing sort of a more bare bones thing, maybe you're playing over Discord and you have a couple tokens or something like that. Otherwise, I'd just keep it out. I think the tokens tend to look nice without text over top of them. Scale is something that can change as well. So if you're doing a campaign where maybe you do have smaller sized creatures and you want them to fit into your virtual tabletop program, you can go ahead and scale up or down as you'd like. We can also apply an overlay just up top left here. If we want to choose any of the options there, I mean, it kind of, you can give like more dramatic shadows, or you can actually just do like a full overlay. And once you've given an overlay, one of the last options is the overlay tint. You can change that to something. I mean, I suppose it would be good if there was like I don't know, like a dream sequence token or something like that. I don't use the overlay terribly much, but it's nice to know the options there. And once you're done, once you're happy with your token and you want to use them in your campaign, it really is as simple as hitting the download button and giving that token a name. I mean, token 1's fine for the purposes of our demo. And there it is. You've got your saved token all ready to go, all ready to pull into your world. There's a couple of bonus things that I wanted to show, both custom borders and masks, as well as the drag and drop capabilities. So I know it says drop an image here to start, and that's true. You can go anywhere that you've got an image. So if you've got maybe like a common file that's public domain, you can actually just click and drag it up into token stamp, and release. So you can see it's actually very easy to get a bunch of tokens ready for your campaigns. Now, if I take the same image and maybe I want to set a custom border and a mask, and we need to do both, but if you actually click on the custom borders link, it'll take you to a page that tells you how to set all that up. We see here that borders should be 256 by 256 transparent, and it suggests that you make it either black or white so that the color, so if you're tinting your tokens, remember if we're gonna maybe apply a color to the border, it'll actually take that color properly. We also likely need to create a custom mask. It says typically you won't need to use a custom mask, and what they're meaning here is by selecting these borders, the masks are sort of built in. So if all you're looking to do is create like a slight variation on the border, then the mask should be fine. But if we have a totally new shape, then we're gonna wanna go ahead and create a mask for it. And it shows us that those masks should be 500 by 500, black and white, and we just need to make sure that it's sort of like a cutout of the border, right? Because we wanna fit the border on top of it, so we need to have that mask ready so that we can have the image, and then we can have the border stamped on top, and it's all just sort of gonna come together. We can have that transparent background as well. And so this black and white is how we achieve that. Okay, so we're gonna create our custom border. I'm using a program I really like, Affinity Photo. It's a one-time purchase. You can really use any program that you'd like that is able to do transparent backgrounds. And so I'm gonna use this one. So I've gone ahead and created my canvas, 256 by 256, because that's what they recommended for borders. In Affinity Photo, I'm gonna go up to Document and make a transparent background. So we're all good there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to the rectangle tool, but I'm gonna click and hold, and I'm gonna give a nice heart border. So we're gonna go up to the heart tool, and then along the top here, we've got our fill and our stroke. Remember, this is just a border, but they did say that they wanted it black or white for the actual border. So we don't want any fill. So we're gonna click on fill and then click here, so we've got nothing. And we'll go up into stroke, and we'll just give it white. And then the actual line, we'll hit on none, and we'll make the width something like 5 pixels, or 5 point. And then I'm gonna go to my canvas. I can drag from the top here, but what I'm actually gonna do is go to the center point. So if I hold Control, I'm gonna create from the center point, and I'm also gonna hold Shift to make sure that the proportions are right. They're constrained. And then I'm gonna click, and I'm gonna drag and release. And then I've got my border. And so at that point, I can go up to File. I can export it as a PNG because we want it to be transparent. We want it to keep that transparency. You don't want a JPEG. And we'll go ahead and hit export. And we'll give it a lovely name. So we've got our border. Now we need to go ahead and create our masks. And if you'll remember, it was 500 by 500 pixels. So I'm gonna go up to my document. I'm gonna resize our canvas, and I'll make it 500 pixels by 500 pixels. And I'm gonna go ahead and take that same heart, and I'm gonna make sure that it's in the center, so we'll just snap it into the center there. Now we need to make sure that we've got the black and the white. Black around the mask so that it's transparent, and then the white, which is actually where our image is gonna go. If I go up to fill, and we go color, we'll actually change that to a full white. And I like to get rid of the stroke as well. You just click here. It's probably fine because our border will actually overlap it, but it only takes a second, so I find it easy to just get rid of. Last thing we're gonna need to do is create black around the white heart. On the right-hand side, if we actually go to add pixel layer, so now we've got the extra layer that we need, and we're actually gonna click and drag, and we're gonna drag that below the heart layer. I'm back. If you actually go to the flood fill tool over on your left, and then you just click anywhere on your canvas, now we've got the black that we need. From there, same thing as the other image, we'll go up to File, and we'll export it. We'll make sure that we're PNG and we're 500. We'll go ahead and we'll give it another name like Custom Mask, and that's really all there is to it. So if we go back, we've got Set Custom Border, and we're gonna go ahead and click on that. And then we're gonna go to the custom border that we've created, open that up. And you'll notice that it's applied our border, but it's still got that circular mask, right? So this is what I was talking about, where we've got that harp-shaped border, but the mask is still circular, so it doesn't fit. We're gonna go down to Set Custom Mask. We're gonna choose that heart mask that we made. And once we open that up, we now see that we've got the mask, we've got the image itself, and then we've got the border over top of it, and everything around it's transparent. So that'll work really well. We've also made sure, of course, that we can tint the border properly, so we can make sure that's a nice, lovely heart. And we'll go ahead and we'll save that image. Lovely Archer. And I will never use her in a campaign. But yeah, that's Token Stamp. I've been using it for a long, long time to get my characters ready for games, to make NPC tokens. And if you didn't know about it, I hope you guys find it useful as well. So there it is. It really is as easy as that. I hope you found this tool helpful. And if you've got your own tools, your own little tricks that you'd like to share, I'd love it if you would leave a comment down below. Anything that makes your role-playing easier, better, faster, stronger. And if you liked videos like this, please remember to subscribe. And until next week, who am I? Just another RP devotee. Upload one of the tokens that I've already done. And so that token's now uploaded. We'll select it, and there we go. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, I use a tool called Token Stamp. So I believe if you just put Token Stamp into Google, yeah, you'll get it right away.